Hello, good morning and good afternoon to everybody. How are you doing today? I am very happy to welcome you in my kitchen. Yes, I have many kitchen all in ones, right? And this is what we're going to be talking about today. Those fantastic things that are happening in those kitchen and with those wonderful women, right? So how are you cooking your food? Can you tell me? And also, what fuel are you using to cook your food? Is it a safe fuel, aka clean fuel, or is it a dirty fuel? That's what I like to discuss with you today, because when we go and try and cook food, right? We usually don't think too much about it. We focus about what is that we're going to be cooking, what is that we're going to be eating, but very rarely we actually start wondering what fuel are we using to be cooking. So is it safe enough? Is it good enough? Is it dirty enough? Is it clean enough? All of those questions is far from us. Exactly. So all of a sudden, when we hear few statistics about that very same cooking that's happening around the world, and some of them are quite worrying, and obviously we are invited to think about the way we are looking at this action. And we actually realize that we actually also may have to do some few adjustment, and that could be a problem. And this is what I want to be talking to you today, right? But before we go into that, as usual, let me just properly welcome you. So my name is Tony Tio. I'm the founder and CEO of Renewable in Africa, your Africa clean energy champion, and not just Africa. We are your global clean energy champion. And what is that we do in this channel here? It's very simple. So we provide you all the information you need to demystify the renewable energy sector so that you become a lot more knowledgeable. And not only you become knowledgeable, but you have what it takes to go and apply the knowledge that you've learned, right? That's what it's all about. So if you say to me that I'm a businessman, a businesswoman, and I like to turn my company into a green company, but I don't have all the knowledge that it takes. We are here to provide you the information that you need. But if you also tell me that, so you are an investor and you want to put some money into the sector, we also have what it takes for you to better understand what is the sector all around, yeah, and where can you invest and how can you properly make use of the information that you are learning. And last but not the least, if you're saying, which actually happened to me yesterday, I was talking to a gentleman, so based in the US and from Mali, saying to me, "Hey Tony, listen, I've been looking at the sector for a little while. I've been looking to get into the sector from different angle. I'm stuck. I don't know where or what to do." So in here, you get the information you need to at least kickstart the journey. And later on, if you are even further interested, you can look at some of the courses that we put together. For example, one is all about how to become a product developer, right? So there are courses like that that can help you to go from I'm a very simple beginner to I become an expert. I have the knowledge of an expert and I know what it takes now to go and move forward. So that's what it's all about. So if you like what you're hearing, there's only one thing I want you to do. Oh, few things. Number one is you gotta subscribe. Subscribe to the channel, right? So in our on our LinkedIn channel, on our YouTube channel, on our Facebook, and also on our Twitter. So we are fortunate today because we actually broadcasting for all those four platforms at the same time. But you gotta subscribe. That's number one. The second thing is you have to leave a comment. You have to tell us what you think. As I'm speaking to you right now, I can see I already have a couple of comments. Excellent. No problem, guys. So thank you for the comment. I very much appreciate that. And I'll come back to that in a minute. But like I say, so if you like what you're learning, leave a comment. Like just few people have done right now. I'm going to look at the comment later on. Leave a comment. Send us questions we can respond to, but also share that share that message that you're learning, because even if it's not directly applicable to you, it may be applicable and useful to somebody you know who actually may be very much interested. So this is what you could be doing for us. Is it cool? Excellent. Now, let's dive into the conversation. And in fact, I remember, right, when I was young, because I know obviously I'm young, but not that young anymore. I used to spend lots of my holidays, right, in the village into my grandmother and also grandfather houses, right? So from both sides, my mom and my dad. And I remember every time I was going there, I would spend lots of time in the kitchen, especially in the evening, right? So after you've done everything you need to do during the day, in the evening, you sort of congregate in the kitchen. And that was almost like a sanctuary, right? Because in there, this is really where you bond with your family, obviously your grandparents, but also all your cousins that were around and also people that happened to be in the house at that time. And you can imagine we could spend hours just cooking meal. And it was more than just cooking meal. As I say, it was really a moment where we were obviously coming together, right? So we will actually tell stories, crack a few jokes, share about some news about the family, just getting to to know each other and to love each other, right? And it was a very very precious moment. It was almost like these are the moment that you're looking for. To during the day, just to go there and spend a good time. That's what it was all about. And what was happening right in the middle? So you had your grandmother, or maybe your auntie, or whatever, or your mother, whatever it is, yeah, your sister, your brother as well at times, yeah, cooking, right? And it was like I said, those very confined space, and but usually most of them will tend to have one common feature. That's I see rural areas, right, different from the cities, is the fact that that's usually cooking on a firewood, right? Center middle, you had like an open fire, you have a cooking pot there. It was quite smoky, right? And you would spend lots of time there. And for me, I've spent many holidays in this kind of scenarios, right? And I love it. And I cherish every moment of it, every memories of it, right? And I'm sure it's actually quite frequent for many of us. So actually, it came to a shock to me when I realized later, obviously, as I become interested a little bit more into renewable energy, clean energy, and so on and so forth. When I started doing a little more reading, it came to a shock to me to realize that, oh, hold on a minute. Actually, there's something happening here I wasn't even aware of, right? Because if we're looking at some stats, what do we know? Is that we have about 3 billion people, right, and across the world who are actually cooking this same way, just like those pictures, especially sorry, those two that I've sent here. You have about 3 billion people that are cooking in the same scenario. Like I say, open fire, confined environment, very smoky, right? So whether you look at in places in Africa, in Southeast Asia, but also something in Americas, right? So you have those scenarios where obviously there is a lot of there's a carbon that they are breathing, yeah, that goes into their body, and clearly that cannot be good for the health. So how do I know that? Simply because when I looked at the figures, right? So what I found out is actually on a yearly basis, you have about 3 million people that actually would die just from those kind of scenario. So it sort of bring up a lot of consideration, right? And also internal fight, because you say, "Oh, listen, I didn't realize that this is actually not very good, you know, cooking this way." But at the same time, it's not that easy because, as I say to you, it was more than just cooking. It was a time where people actually really congregate together, come together. So, are we saying that doing that it's bad? And this is what I wanted to discuss, because sometimes we can get into a sort of a conflict internally. But before I do that, so I just thought I share, as I usually would do, a couple of stats here just for us to look at, and also what is possible. So what I wanted to do, because but obviously before I go there, by the way, I'm hoping that you keep it and sending messages. If you're not sending messages right now, I want you to do that. I want to ask me questions because I want to be able to answer your questions, right? So obviously the solution to that, it's what we call clean cooking. So how can we make sure that we come up with new method of cooking, new ways, new fuel that are being used that are not so polluting, right? So that people can keep on doing what they do best for their family, but at the same time protecting themselves and protecting their health, right? And you have this clean cooking movie that all has emerged, right? And it's sort of gaining in popularity. and for the right reason. And there is an organization called Clean Cooking Alliances that sort of gather all the information around that. And in that organization, every year they publish a report just looking at how the clean cooking, I would say, movement is actually progressing, and then how much money is being invested into it. And what I wanted to share with you here, it's a quick report about that. So hopefully, yeah. So that report is published on the on I believe on the on the yearly basis. I don't think I'm sharing the right one. 1 second. I don't know. No, I'm not sharing the right one. Let me just stop sharing here so I know where I need to go. I need to share a window, not okay. 1 second, guys. That's always the case for me. I gotta look at what is the right one to share. Oh, for Chrome tab. 1 second. What is that window? Tony, come on. Where's the window? Okay, where is okay? I can see that here, but I can't see that. Okay. Okay, guys, that's always part of it when you're doing things live. So you're always a little bit okay. I think I've seen what I wanted, but okay. Now I've seen what I wanted. So now let me go back to that and then share with you. Okay, let's restart again. So I'm just gonna go there. I'm sharing with you. Yep, good. I got it now. Good, excellent. We're there. Okay, brilliant. So that's the report that's been shared on a yearly basis. So I'll let you look at that in your own time. If you want to look at that, the that's what clean cooking industry snapshot, right? So you may want to look out for that, right? That's 2021. I was it was for last year. I just want to share a few stats, yeah, because you can in your own time research it. And the first one I want to share is this, which is obviously presenting to us what is that? It's the amount of money, the split of money that goes into the sector. As you can see, for the last few years, we have here 2017 to 2019, you can see that the money that is being raised, it's growing. We went from 40 to 43 to 70 millions, right? So sort of increased by, not yet double yet, but we're getting close to that. And we can also see that now, obviously, the amount of grant goes into that. It's not actually increasing, but what is increasing is the equity and the equity portion, which means that there's a lot more private investor goes into the sector. Yeah, and normal, right? 3 billion people that struggle with this with this problem. So that means obviously there's a clear market there, because every time there's an opportunity, there's a problem, there's an opportunity, right? So I don't want to change as well. So where is usually that the product tend to go, right? So you can see here we obviously have Southeast Asia, as you can see, and we also have eastern part of Africa, which is quite surprising because the issue certainly will actually touch every countries in Africa, but most of it tend to be sold in here. For example, in my own country, in Cameroon, at the moment, not a lot is happening for clean cooking. So I mean, hey, if you are a clean cooking company, that's the market there for you, right? So I wanted to share that. And the last one, third interesting for you to look at very quickly. Yeah, I had it here. Hopefully, I've not passed that. Hopefully, I've not passed. I don't remember. It was carry on, guy. I don't want to spend too much time. That report, as I say, you can find yourself. So yes, that's the one I want to share, which is obviously what kind of fuel are we talking about when we talk about clean cooking here, for you just to get an idea, right? So those are the major that we tend to talk about here. You have LPG, biomaster, biogas, ethanol, processed biomass, and electric and solar, right? So that's just an idea of what's happening in the sector. So let me just stop sharing and come back to you. Yes. So these are the different fuel that have been used. So, but the key question I wanted to discuss very quickly here, it's asking the question. So, culturally speaking, is it an issue? Because I remember one of the colleague I was talking to, partners talking to, was telling me the story about the fact that yes, we now acknowledge that there is an issue with clean cooking. Okay, that's fine, right? But now, when you're bringing about solutions, right? Initially, some solution was actually facing some, I would say, challenges, rejections from people. Why? Because as I say, cooking, it's very, very particular to a culture, right? So like I say, it's very typical. So like I say, that's what people have been doing for years and years, for generations. You can't just come all the way and change all of that. Say, okay, I'm just going to give you a fuel for you to cook with, and you should go with that, because that can impact definitely the taste of the food. Believe me or not, it sounds actually funny, but it's not. It can affect the taste of the food. It can affect as well just what people are used to do. If you have those simple electric yeah electric device people use, just turn a couple of buttons and just start cooking. you know some of our some of our people are not used to that, right? And they don't find it comfortable. So the idea was, how can we now find a solution that respect the tradition and the culture of those people, right? So that's why, for example, one of the solutions that was pushed forward, and that seems to be working, those scenario whereby it's sort of in danger of threatening a little bit of culture, is maybe biogas, because you still have the flame. So that means all of a sudden they can still cook and still see the flame. It sounds really trivial, but some people, they just feel reassured by seeing something like that. At least they feel like I'm not losing completely everything from my culture, right? I just have to change it and put something that is hard for me but still good, keep me all the traditional way. I have to tap into to cook the food and to do it for people. So this is very, very important, yeah. And that's what I pass on as a message. I don't know for you, what is that you think? So what do you think, that clean cooking to some extent can endanger some culture? Because like I say, if you look at all those women cooking behind me, especially those one, basically, you would see that, it's, as I say, it's part of your tradition, it's part of the way you are. And imagine if you were to go and say to them, you can't just carry on cooking just like that. They'd be asking you, where were you, for the last 20 years, or for the last 2 centuries, when we've been cooking just this way? Are you saying that you're gonna cook on my behalf? So no, not necessarily, right? So yes, and one of the reason, actually, if we don't take that into consideration, it will be difficult to obviously implement change that you want to see, right? It will be difficult because like people will be reacting. The behavior would tell you that, okay, there's something not going right in here, so I need to adjust, I need to adapt. So how do we do it? So essentially, what I'm saying here is, clean cooking, obviously, if it's not done properly, yes, it might threaten a little bit people culture. However, everything is in the way you are approaching. Yeah, you are approaching the problem and you are bringing about the solution. If you make sure that you properly understand people culture, if you make sure that you properly understand the way they do things, and if you come up with solutions that kind of replicate some aspect that they believe are fundamental for them in carry on this action, and obviously making sure as well you include people in the process, all of a sudden you come up with a solution that actually suits and fits everybody. Yes, you allow people in those areas to carry on doing their job, carry on doing what they need to do, and not lose too much part of their culture. At least they need to feel that they don't lose too much part of their culture. And for you, allows you as well to roll out the device that you believe you want to be rolling out, and making sure that you can put in place action that can help prevent obviously their health. And also, it's important for you to communicate that to people and say, okay, listen, what we're also looking to do here, I like you to keep on cooking just like you do for the next 60, 70 years, right? And without having any issue at all. Carry on doing it. Because the trouble is, for you keeping on doing that, right? So you may be exposed by such and such situation, let's say in 5 and 10 years' time, and you're going to be even worse because you're not even going to be able to carry on cooking for your family just like you like to do, right? And this what will actually prevent you from doing that. So all we're doing here is to help you to do it for the longer time possible. Yeah. So this is what I'm saying. So the way you approach things, it's very, very important, right? And I know what I'm talking about to some degree because obviously being originally from these places, as I say, I remember all those good memories, and I could see where at time there will be a struggle for people to embrace change, for people to embrace what we actually see as progress, right? So it has to be really respectful of those culture, and it has to have it embedded, absolutely, and take into account what people are thinking and what people are believing. And if we can do that, yes, I believe we may be in a position to roll out a solution that works for everybody and provide the protection that we are looking to provide. So hopefully that works for you. Okay, that's great. So what I've done today here is just a very quick snapshot of the topic, but obviously there's a lot more that we need to learn about clean cooking, and it's an area that definitely we need to look at, we need to do, because all of us, we can't survive without eating our food, right? And we need to be thinking about, even if we're not directly affected, I'm pretty much sure almost many of us will have people in your surrounding that may be affected by this issue. And that's the reason for me to sharing those information so that you get to know it. So you can pass on the information and you can see what you can do also to help them. Yeah, that's great. And we're going to be talking even more about this topic in on Wednesday, because what we're doing, we're having a webinar where we're talking about a specific technology, particularly which is the biogas digester, right? That's one of them. Like I said, because they're different fuel that could be used for clean cooking. But we're going to be talking about one aspect, and we eventually going to talk about a couple of case study with a couple of companies that are active into the sector. And what I want to do, I just want to make sure that I drop with you here a link. So if you are interested by this webinar, by the way, it's a free webinar, right? So there's no charge on it, by the way. Just feel comfortable. I'm not charging you, not yet. So just click on this link and sign up for the for the webinar, and also make sure that you spread the message to people that could be interested. And we're going to be talking a lot more about that. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to look at a comment like I usually do. People that have dropped some comments here. If there's some question, I'm going to take those questions, and then if not, we can always part. We can also part away. So let me have a look at that. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So what's the first comment? I'm using charcoal. Electric, I think, is safe. Yes. Okay, that's good. That's Joseph Kruma, right? Yeah, Joseph. Yeah, chalk. Exactly. That's what I was saying. Using charcoal. So as you can imagine, to coal, it's a big pollutant, right? You know that right now, right? And we, especially in the power sector, we are looking phasing out coal. And the reason obviously I was keen on doing um, a video on clean cooking is because when we're talking about renewable energy, when we're talking about clean energy, we tend to spend a lot too much time on power, right? Which is good, right? Nothing wrong with that. But we shouldn't forget other aspect of the society that also need to be decarbonized, right? That's why I wanted to talk about it, especially people around us. Like I say, our mothers and our sisters, women, and also brothers, fathers. Everybody gets involved with that, right? So that's very much important, and that's an issue that bring together, poverty, climate change, economic growth, all that together. So yeah, very important. So using charcoal, electric. Say yes, electric. If you remember that slide that I shared, that was presenting the different fuel that we're using. I'm sure you could see electric and solar. Yes, electric. I think is safe. The trouble with electric here. That's a typical example where I was saying, you know, uh, if people are using to see flame, right? when they are cooking the food in the meal, and you bring about just such a solution. In some places, it may not work. It may not work because they're not used to that and they may not like it. And this is what I wanted to put it here. Yeah, good. Okay. So Joseph would just say that you're from Ghana. Hey Joseph, I know you're from Ghana. If you're calling Kruma, right? So so it's just a shame that you don't have a Kwame in front. Just joking. But thank you for connecting. I appreciate that. Excellent. So we have Ife Sineke Godwin. You're doing good, bro. Okay, thanks for that. And you're also doing good by watching us. We appreciate that and we like it. And then I think that's about it. So today we actually quite light and common, and that's what I see, right? So this is a topic that don't grab a lot of attention, not a lot of headlines, right? But yet, as I say, a number of casualty on a yearly basis, and you look at also the population that are affected. We're talking about 3 billion, right? That's a lot. If you think about the fact that for power, for example, we have approximately 1 billion people. Yeah. Or no, I think it's come down now to about 800 million people without power access in the world this day. And here I'm talking about 3 billion people that actually living in this condition and being affected by that. So you could see that obviously clearly there's a lot more people that are struggling, or at least obviously not necessarily aware that they're exposed to a situation here, right? So that's the reason we need to bring this up to people's attention for you to get to know it, right? So I know not necessarily the topic that will be the most popular, the most the coolest topic in the world, but it's important. It's important, and for us to bring the information to you, it's also important. And if you look at that, it's from a business mindset. So if you're an entrepreneur, what I'm telling you here is there is a market for you. Who doesn't want to eat? Everybody wants to eat. Everybody needs to cook. So there's a market here. This is also what I'm saying. If you look at that from that perspective, say, hey, listen, we got about 3 billion people that actually live in these conditions. I may actually find a way to bring about a solution and make money at the same time. And the more I make money, the more people I can actually help with my solution. This is what I'm talking about here. So if you are business minded, you should, and I know some of you are actually looking at what opportunity can I step into in the sector to be able to make money. Hey guys, this is one of them. This is what I'm saying. But you need to be aware of that. And that's what our job is, to send the information across, right? And then hopefully you will like it. Like I say, it's not necessarily the coolest topic in the world. People will perceive it, but very good. And like I said as well, as we talk a little about women empowerment, this is one of them affecting a lot of women and also children, right? Because they at time be the most vulnerable, right? Just because of the amount of time that they will spend in the kitchens. And most of the time, men will be outside waiting for the food. People like me waiting for food carefully to be served to us, or maybe they will be earning their money and the money that is going to feed the family, especially in rural areas. It happens a lot. And I'm sure I'm not telling you anything you don't know just here. So just think about them, and then even from a surface perspective, because I'm sure when something happened to them, you feel sad. Yeah, you will obviously you won't be pleased. You won't be pleased by yourself. So I'm also saying, even from that surface perspective, protecting them is protecting you. That's the way I see that. Yeah. But at the same time, I say there is a great opportunity to make money here. I'm waiting for one of you to be Elon Musk to go and just completely change and revolutionize the sector, right? So that's what it's all about. So I don't think there is any more question. I just have, was that Lorna? Lorna say great stuff. Okay, great stuff as well for you watching us. Appreciate that. Thumbs up to you guys. And I'm hoping that you like my kitchen. Yeah. I know you can't see me that very well, right? I'm almost camouflaged with all that, but that's fine. Yeah, at least. But that's what's happened, right? When you go to those kitchen, those environment is a bit darkish, but you're having a great time. And this is exactly what I was having today. A great time with you. Just imagine we have an open fire in front of us, right? So that's what it was all about. So I believe that, and I hope that you've enjoyed it. So as I said, Think about the webinar that we're doing on Wednesday, 4th of May at 2 p.m. BST time. The link is there, registration. It's a free webinar. You're just going to learn a lot more, and you're going to have obviously people that are a lot more experienced into the sector. They'll share their perspective with you, and you're going to have time to ask questions, right? So, and that would be even a lot more exciting. Because today, what I've done is just snippet, half an hour, but I think it's time for me to stop. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so a pleasure to be talking to you as usual. I'm hoping you have a fantastic rest of your day. And then remember, so we are broadcasting now on Sunday, but also on the Wednesday. So on Wednesday, we'll be back here with another topic. And I'm hoping to see most of you, if not all of you, because as usual, it's going to be fun. So you have a great time, and then stay blessed. By the way, so if you're Muslim, so Eid Mubarak, yeah, because I'm waiting for my celebration tomorrow. I've been invited today. I'm invited this year, and I can't wait. Yeah. So thank you very much, guys. So may the sun be with you. Take care, guys. Bye bye.